Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Erin. On today's video, I'm going to show you how to take your herbal oil, strain it, and then use that same oil to make a facial product. Now, if you missed my previous video on how to make an herbal infused oil, I'll go ahead and link it down in the description box of this video. So go ahead and watch that if you haven't already done so, but otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so there's just a few things that you'll need to strain your herbal infused oil. So you're going to need some sort of a wide mouth like this or similar. I'm actually using just a Pyrex glass measuring cup, but you want to make sure that you have it to where it's one, big enough, and also that the mouth is wide enough so that your oil doesn't leak everywhere. Next, you're going to want to use some sort of a strainer, mesh strainer like this, and then either muslin cloth or cheesecloth. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my strainer with my cloth over it like that. And then you're going to want to take your herbal infused oil. Now, the herbal infused oil that we're using today is the calendula. Now, if you remember from the previous video, we put our calendula, or I rather put my calendula herbs in some apricot oil, and I let them sit in a, preferably in the sun, not direct sun. So this has been solar infused for 6 weeks. So by the time you see this video, this would have been in this jar for 6 weeks. So now we're going to go ahead and unscrew the lid, and then I'll show you how you strain it. So just a second. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take the jar, and you're just going to want to pour it over either the cheesecloth or muslin, whatever you chose to use, and you're just going to go ahead and let it strain. And as you can see, or hopefully you can see here, I'll move it a little closer, you can see that none of the herbs are coming through, just the pure oil. And the oil is this beautiful yellow color, which I love. It smells wonderful. And you're not going to want to squeeze your cloth. You're just going to want it to let it do its thing naturally. I find if you squeeze it, sometimes the herb particles will fall in your oil, and you definitely don't want that. And, take your time. I'm actually not going to do a whole lot to this. I'm just going to let it kind of, do what it needs to do. And you will need to do this pretty slowly. You don't want to dump it all at once. But again, it turns out beautifully. So what I am doing here is I'm little by little emptying my jar into this. Okay, so as you can see, it's actually almost done. There's still some droplets coming through, but yeah, so that's how you do this step. Now, once it is done, you're filtering, you're keeping your herbs on top and your oil down below. You can either reuse your fabric or pitch it. It's, you know, solely up to you. I know some people will wash it, leave it to air dry, and then reuse it. And others don't want to even take a chance with cross-contamination of their herbs, so they will pitch it. You know, the preference is yours at this point. What I personally do is I will toss my material, my herbal material, and either use it in my garden for recycling, or I will put it in my recycle bin. And then the fabric, you know, because it was fairly inexpensive to me, I will just go ahead and throw it away. I tend not to want to reuse mine simply because I don't want to chance, you know, getting anything added to this. It's just a personal preference. Hopefully that made sense. But anyhow, so it looks like the oil is almost done being extracted from my herbs. And I will show you on the next step what you need to do. Simple. And I will show you step by step what we're going to use and how we're going to make this. So let's go ahead and get started. You will need a food scale, and you will also need a heat-safe glass container. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up and walk you through what we're going to do. All right, so how I'm going to do this is I am going to add a couple different mixtures of oils. The first oil that I'm going to put in my glass container, and you're hearing me put on my gloves, by the way, is rose hip seed oil. Now, rose hip seed oil is a really good oil for the skin. Some people say that it can kind of feel like it's tightening your skin. I personally have never had that experience, but let's go ahead and we're going to add in some rosehip seed oil. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add my rosehip oil. Now, rosehip oil, or rosehip seed oil rather, is really good for the skin. It has lots of antioxidants. It's great for anti-aging. It's just kind of a nice oil to have on the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and just add about 10 grams of this oil. There we go. So next to that oil, to the rosehip oil, I'm going to go ahead and add some of my Candula Herbal Infused oil that I just drained. Now, if you're not familiar with Candula oil, now it is really good for you know, oily and acne prone skin. It's good for sensitive skin, great for if you have itchy skin or eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis. It's just a wonderful oil. I use it in so many of my products that I make here at my home for use for family. Sometimes I'll gift it for like Mother's Day, or if I know somebody that I love and care about has some skin issues, I will go ahead and gift them some of this oil. So it's a very good oil. So I'm going to go ahead and just zero out my scale. And to the same container, I'm going to go ahead and add the remainder of my oil. Now I am making 2 ounces, or rather 56.70 grams. So I am going to add, when I say the remainder, I am going to add in about 46, if I'm doing the math correctly, which I am pretty sure I am, 46.70 grams of this into. And you, if you want to make a larger amount, you can do so, but this is just what I'm doing for today. Now, depending on what oil you infused your herbs with, it will change the product, this product a little, but not by much. Okay, once I have all my oil in my heat safe container, we're ready for the next step. So the next step is going to be adding my essential oil. Now, for this particular formula, I chose to use lavender. Lavender is such a great essential oil, especially combined with the other oils that I have incorporated in this formula. So lavender is very calming. It's good if you have psoriasis, dry skin. Now, when adding this oil, it's important to make sure to follow the correct dermal limits. And knowing what the dermal limit is, I am going to only add a little, less than 1% of, so essentially 4 or 5 drops is what I'm going to add, not even 1%. It's so much less than that. But about 4 to 5 drops in my oil, just to kind of give it a little boost, a little scent, not too much. And again, if you feel that that's too light for you and you want to add more, just make sure to keep it under the 1% dermal limit, at least for this formula. Now, if you're using lavender for other formulas, you know, that could change. But for this formula, try to keep it under 1%. Hopefully that made sense. If not, I will go ahead and include this formula. You can find it on my blog, but you can also find it at the end of this video. So let's go ahead and add the essential oil. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add my lavender. Drops. And then I'm going to take my stir stick, which is my popsicle stick, and I'm just going to go ahead and incorporate the essential oil into my herbal infused oil and then my rose hip seed oil. Okay. So once that is done, I'm going to demonstrate to you how it goes on the skin. I am actually just going to use my hand. Now, as you can tell, my hand, from washing it so much, is pretty dry. So this will actually be good for that. And a little goes a long way. So I have put the drops on my knuckles, on the palm of my hand. I am gently massaging it in. And you'll find that it's pretty, I mean, it just feels really good on the skin. And it has a lovely scent. It's not, again, it's not overpowering, especially if you have sensitive skin. You don't want too much fragrance, because sometimes that can irritate it. So I don't know if you can see, but it's not too oily. It, you know, feels good on the skin, kind of a satiny feel to it. So there you have it. Now the next step is to go ahead and put it in a container, and I will show you that. Okay, so for my oil, I am going to go ahead and put it in this container, so it's basically a dropper bottle. And the reason I like to put my oil in this container, it's easy to use. I can just, add a couple drops, whatnot, and I'm not contaminating the oil. So I'm going to go ahead and put my product in my container. And then what I do is I will keep it in my bathroom, but I have an area in my bathroom which is away from direct sunlight, so and heat, which is a good rule of thumb when storing this. And if you're wondering about preservatives, because this is all oils, it does not need one. So don't forget to label it so you don't forget what's in here. And there you have it. You have made your facial product with your Herbal Infused Candula oil. Now, for the remainder of my Candula Infused oil, I'm going to go ahead and pour it in a mason jar with a lid, and I'm going to store it so that I can use it in further products that I make, or use it directly. It's just a really good oil to have on hand. I cannot emphasize that enough. So there you have it. Well, that wraps up today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas or thoughts on products that you would like me to make here on my channel, please, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you on next week's video. Bye for now. So thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more DIY formulas, don't forget to like and subscribe.